It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in. And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.
Tennis, cricket, athletics, as well as I was going to say cricket again. That's all happening on the home front. We also have Super Rugby, the NBA playoffs, as well as tennis on the international front. But today being a Monday, it's all about the Castle Lager World Football Report. And front and centre of that is match day 15 in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League, when Ngezi Platinum Stars finally upended in Bulawayo by Bulawayo Chiefs of all teams. You might be surprised, but hey, let's go back 1 month ago. It was the same team that brought Norman Mapeza's FC Platinum to a crashing halt with their first defeat. So they seem to have developed a taste for anything platinum. We'll be going through that story a bit later on together with Murape as well as Alois Bunjira. Barry Menandi is also in the studio, so is Chris Gray. My name is Mike Madura. Sean Tafirenyika will be behind the desk on production. It is Manic Monday.
And of course, like Mike mentioned, on the home front, we got tennis news where Zimbabwe Davis Cup player Benjamin Locke capped off a fine week by capturing the singles and doubles title in the Zimbabwe F1 Futures Tournament at Harare Sports Club over the weekend. And then that cricket that Mike wanted to double up on, youth triumphed over experience at Takashinga Sports Club on Saturday in the Pro 50 Championship final as Rising Stars soundly defeated Manicaland Mountaineers by 144 runs. And in athletics news, the inaugural Nkulumani Half Marathon was marred by controversy, which saw the Wulayo Athletics Board, the BAB, blamed for incompetence after athletes ran a 19-kilometer course instead of in the intended 21.1 kilometers.
In your international sports news roundup, in Super Rugby, Scott Robertson isn't worried about having to shut his Red Hot Crusaders juggernaut down from Super Rugby for a month after his side secured a memorable 34-20 win over the Waikato Chiefs on Saturday. In the NBA, Steph Curry set a new NBA Finals record, scoring 9 3-pointers in the Golden State Warriors' 122-103 victory against the Cleveland Cavaliers as they took a 2-0 lead in the series. Finally, some tennis. Novak Djokovic strengthened his claims as a French Open contender by reaching the quarterfinals with a straight-set victory over Spain's Fernando Verdasco.
And of course, in the second half of the show is the Castle Lager World Football Report. Match day 15 in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League saw 10-men Highlanders hand Harare City their second defeat in as many weeks at Rufaro on Saturday. Yesterday, it was a day of upsets as Gracious Mulea's 30th minute penalty helped Bulawayo Chiefs become the first club to beat Ngezi Platinum Stars this season, while at the National Sports Stadium, Caps United suffered a shock 2-1 defeat to Mutare City. Elsewhere, Zimbabwe coach Sande Mofu Chidzambwa was a relieved man after his Warriors missed a glut of chances and eventually needed the heroics of goalkeeper Jololo George Chigova to ride through the penalty shootout lottery at the new Peter Mokaba Stadium last night in the Kosafa Cup. All that and more on today's edition of ZiFM Sports.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. The home front. Local sports news and analysis.
As you heard, this is about sports news and analysis. It's not just our analysis that we're interested in, because we want to hear your analysis too and your take on what happened over the weekend. So let us know on our WhatsApp platform. It's 0731-168-045. That's 0731-168-045. Let's get into the home front, starting with tennis, where Zimbabwe Davis Cup player Benjamin Locke, Super Benji, capped off a fine week by capturing the singles and doubles title at the Zimbabwe F1 Futures Tournament at Harare Sports Club during the weekend. Locke beat compatriot Takanyi Garanganga in the singles final 7-6, 6-2 before partnering up his brother Courtney Locke to win the doubles title. The Locke brothers defeated their Indian opponent 6-3, 6-love to capture their maiden professional doubles as a pair. We caught up with Super Benji after his singles victory on Saturday. Let's hear from him.
Yeah, it's obviously been the best week I've had in my career. I've won the singles and the doubles. I've never done that before, and very, very, very happy. I'm just thrilled with the way I'm playing, and the way I'm relaxed on the court and handling each difficult situation as it comes. So I was very happy with that, and I had a very tough first round. Went 3 sets, and it's not easy to play a tough player in the opening match. You don't have rhythm, you're lacking a little bit of confidence and feeling the court. So I knew if I could get through that, I had a good chance to do well. And for doubles, great week with my brother. It's so special to win with him especially, and his first tournament out of university and on the tour, so that's huge for him, and I'm just so thrilled. And today it's a very difficult match to approach because obviously Takani is a very good friend of mine on the tour, and he's been a mentor for me transitioning onto the tour from university and to pros, and we have a lot of respect for each other, and so it's very difficult to mentally get down and prepare yourself. You have to compete against a close friend of yours. And good thing it was in the final, so we both had a good week regardless. And I know he had been struggling this year with the injuries at the start of the year, but he's really picked it up, and he's done well. His last 3 tournaments, he's done semi-finals and finals. So great week for him, and congratulations to him. And the match was decided on a few points in the first set today, and my heart goes out for him. I know he wanted this one, but at the same time, there's 2 more weeks, and I know he's in good form, so I wish him all the best. And for me, played really well today. I thought I read the game well, and I made adjustments early on, and I knew what I had to do to get the results. So just thrilled with the way I could finish it off.
Well, good news for Benjamin Locke, but we also had another bit of good news, and that was that our top 2 players, Locke and Garanganga, both getting to the final, and that's certainly something to be proud of.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've been doing very well in these futures tournaments since we started hosting them, and that augurs well. There's nothing like a tournament that doesn't have local or home representation. What would be good is to start seeing more tennis fans going back the boys out at our Sports Club. We're not seeing enough of the tennis fans going out there. It's no longer as raucous as it was when Zimbabwe was in its heyday during the Black Brothers era.
Days.
Yes, when we could fill out the City Sports Centre, when we used to have 10,000 fans in the City Sports Centre. But admittedly, you also have to look at the calibre of competition and the level of competition as well. It's not as high as hosting the likes of Andre Agassi at the City Sports Centre. So I guess we have to do with that. And the venue itself, I think, just speaks volumes of the demise of Zimbabwe tennis. Because whereas we used to have 10,000 fans, now we're out at an Irish Sports Club, just as good as playing at St. John's College or out at Prince Edward School. So that's the level of competition where we are. But it's nice to see that our lads in tournaments that we're hosting are able to perform well.
Certainly, and now we have names to follow, Chris. I mean, Mike talks about the fact that we've gone to Harare Sports Club, but they've also tried to put in a bit of investment into Harare Sports Club. They've now got what we could call possibly our only tennis stadium over there. So listen, the fans could do a little more to turn out for the boys, couldn't they?
I think the fans could do a little more, but like I always go back to, the media needs to do a lot more in publicizing certain sports. We like certain sports. We like our cricket, we like our football, but we need to do more in terms of publicizing the less popular sports as well. So we're talking about it here now. But before a tournament like this, there should be a whole lot of media going on, and also just, I think sport isn't what it used to be. Parents don't look at it the same way. Whereas for me and my generation, it was your dad dragging you off to watch the Davis Cup because it was something he wanted you to experience. Yeah. Whereas now it's a passerby thing, and
that's the point, Chris.
You don't.
You went to watch the Davis Cup because it was good enough to watch.
Indeed.
You can punt this as long and as hard as you want. You're not going to get thousands of fans streaming into our sports club because it's just the level of competition is where they are. It's the equivalent of Zimbabwe playing Lesotho when it comes to football. You're not going to get the National Sports Stadium full, no matter how much you punt the game or 2 weeks leading up to that game. But you go back to the heydays, and we always talk about this, that there was a time when the National Sports Stadium, by 12 o'clock, you'd be late.
But
to
in
attend
that case,
any
don't
game.
you think that we need to take it more from the perspective of creating things around the game that is entertainment value instead of focusing on just the game, which is what we do with sport in Zimbabwe?
Yeah, but ultimately the main attraction has got to be good enough.
Can I throw in another?
You can put all the bells and whistles around the event, but if the event itself, the main draw card, is not good enough, then there's nothing for people to come for.
Can I throw another element in here? And I'm going to broaden it to almost all sport on the basis that we've seen the introduction of TV bring fans to stadia. And I know it seems like an oxymoron, but it's actually true, scientifically proven. You've seen it impact football in England. It's impacted football in South Africa, where TV gets involved in various sports. People then want to go to the stadium because they're seeing exciting competition. So your point about competition, Mike, certainly rings true, that if the competition is tight, let's say that Lok and Garanganga get into some sort of rivalry when they play each other, but we're seeing it on TV, you'll find the fans will probably stream into the stadium.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, that we need to get the right level of competition, and also we need to get them playing competitive tennis, which is attractive. You know, once you start talking, you know, listen, 95% of the names that you spew out on the card, list of competitors in a futures tournament, Chris, are names that even tennis writers in Zimbabwe probably have never heard about. They'll be like, who is this guy? But you know, when you talk about Andre Agassi, that itself was just a sell. For sure. Just the fact that Andre Agassi is coming to town. It was the equivalent of having... You had non-tennis fans going to City Sports Centre because it was a huge draw card.
I still disagree with you. I think as the media, we don't create the superstar. You know what Cristiano Ronaldo's up to. You know what he ate in the morning. You know what his wife was wearing
against
because
Barcelona,
you created the superstar.
Chris.
No,
he's playing
it's
at the
because
very top.
you know the personal story.
No,
that you can't restrict sport to the sports fan and say, oh, the person who wants to watch the great game. No, I want to go and see what his wife is wearing and what his girlfriend, who's also at the tennis court, is up to. There's an entire score. Probably not. But
Benjamin Locke. Let's be honest.
There's an entire story around that, Michael, that we always miss.
That's idealistic. These guys are not playing at the highest level of competition. What you're talking about is easy to do when you talk about LeBron James, when you talk about Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, because those are global trendsetters. Their stories are known because they're playing at the very highest level of competition.
Because someone is bothering to take the time to go and write that story and
who's
to put
interested
it in the media.
in this level of competition?
You get them interested in that level of media.
Sport doesn't
you
work
create
that way.
Super Benji like Barry's doing. No one calls him that.
No. He is called Super Benji, but these guys have got to up their game, get back to playing at the highest level in Davis Cup. Then people will start coming. The product has got to be right. It's like what we've been talking about, local football. Why are fans? The product is still the same.
Yeah.
It's still the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League. But why are we seeing stadium attendances dropping?
Yeah.
Why? We're still hyping it up the same. We're still talking about it. Why are people not coming? That's because the product is not right. If the entertainment value is not right, then people are not coming. Yep. You can shout from the top of the mountain, they're not coming. They're not.
0731
Listen, I'll give you a good... Why are people going to be getting in their cars this Saturday to head out to Baobab Stadium?
Entertainment value.
Why? Because it's Ngezi Platinum Stars.
Taking on...
Exactly. Ngezi Platinum Stars.
They're playing well.
Granted, but take a look at what Ngezi Platinum does with their players, with their media, with their social media. It's probably one of the best managed in terms of their online media.
Driving attendances?
That's not what's driving attendance.
It drives curiosity. You have to create the curiosity. You have to create the story.
They're playing well. That's why people are going.
And that's absolutely fantastic. But you have to create the story.
You have to play well.
You have to create the story.
Okay, Bulawayo Chiefs, I'll give you an example. Bulawayo Chiefs are as good. In fact, their social media presence is actually more interesting than Ngezi Platinum Stars. I don't see
it is, and it's
20.
Witty as well.
It's actually witty and it's actually international class. You have to give it that to Bulawayo Chiefs. So wherever he's doing their social media, my goodness, I take my cap off to you. You are a genius. But we're not seeing anything more than 253 people in Luveve.
Oh, you counted the three, didn't you? 0731168045. That's our WhatsApp number. Your thoughts on this issue. How do we get people bums in seats? How do we do that? Get in touch with us. Next, cricket, athletics, and horse racing.
Hi, this is Benjamin Locke. I'm on the Zimbabwe Davis Cup team, and you're listening to ZiFM Sport.
Okay, let's keep you updated with what's happening on the local front, starting with cricket, where youth triumphed over experience at Takashinga Sports Club on Saturday in the Pro 50 Championship final as Rising Stars soundly defeated the powerful Manicaland Mountaineers team by 144 runs. Fourth, their batsmen passed 40 with a fifth wicket partnership between Ryan Bell and Tony Munyonga critical to an innings total of 281 for 9. Brandon Mafuta ripped through the Mountaineers middle order to send his team home with a triumph. Mafuta's figures of 8 wickets with 38 runs in only 8.1 overs is the best return ever by any Zimbabwean bowler in List A cricket. To athletics, the inaugural Nkulumani half marathon was marred in controversy as the Bulawayo Athletics Board has been blamed for incompetence after athletes ran 19 kilometers instead of the intended 21.1 kilometers. The event was previously a fun run incorporating only the 5 kilometer and 10 kilometer road runs, but organizers and sponsors opted to expand it by introducing the half marathon in order to attract top runners. The event attracted the country's top long distance runners, but they probably didn't anticipate the disappointment of the half marathon being reduced to a longer version of a fun run when they found themselves crossing the finishing line 2.1 kilometers short of the required distance. Oh my. Let's cap it off with the horse racing. A few weeks after producing a Castle Tankard winner, trainer Bridget Steidolf was smiling after her 4-year-old horse Simona romped home to victory in the OK Grand Challenge race at Borrowdale Park on Saturday. Simona came second to stablemate Roman Descent at the Castle Tankard on May the 7th, but yesterday it was time for the 4-year-old horse to shine.
Zimbabwe, it has begun. Chachaya, Ziawa. Are you ready for what happens next? As young people, we once joined hands and voted for the first time. Remember X Generation? 30 July 2018. Zimbabwe goes to vote. Don't chicken out. Decide what happens next. Show up. Call ERC on toll-free number 0808-0219 today. Kana usiri kuita, uri kuitiswa. To find out more, visit erczim.org.
You've gotta love Mondays because Chicken Inn makes Mondays matter. Chicken Inn Munchie Mondays are here. Buy a 2-piece meal every Monday and you will get 1 extra piece free. Invite your friends, family, and enjoy a juicy, chunky meal at an amazingly low price. Don't just dig in. Let your jaws munch and munch and munch. Chicken Inn. Love that chicken.
Here we go again.
Enjoy world-class radio online. ZiFM Stereo is available on TuneIn. Search for ZiFM Stereo and you got it.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport. International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
0731168045 is our WhatsApp number. Now, that discussion that we were having earlier has drawn a bit of debate here on our WhatsApp platform. People talking about infrastructure. This is DJ Bongs. He says, we just need to keep up to pace with our infrastructure and show seriousness in our sport. He says, this one says, ladies and gentlemen, the debate is simple for me. The guys you're referring to and the competition aren't a brand like the likes of LeBron, Agassi, etc. That one is from Silas. Weigh in with your thoughts and let us know what you are thinking about the discussion around getting bums in seats, making sure that people enjoy the entertainment value. Let's carry on with our international sports news roundup, which is where we are now. And we start with Super Rugby news with Coach Scott Robertson isn't worried about having to shut his Red Hot Crusaders juggernaut down from Super Rugby for a month after his side secured a memorable 34-20 win over the Waikato Chiefs on Saturday, despite a couple of turbulent weeks, which included having to deal with suspensions of Owen Franks and Joe Moody and injuries to fellow international Sam Whitelock and Ryan Crotty, as well as the disruption of the All Blacks camp. The Crusaders defied the odds to keep winning and are now on the cusp of securing a home quarter final. This team has been phenomenal, and to be honest, if you look at the players that were missing, the things that he's had to deal with as Scott Robertson just makes it the job that he's done even doubly more fantastic, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The most structured, I think, of the New Zealand sides as well. And I think I was watching, an interview that was being done on New Zealand Rugby, and they were talking about how the Crusaders have really got it down to a T in terms of how they progress talent from the age of 6 right through to the Crusaders, and of course then graduating the majority of their players into the All Blacks. This is something that they're looking at, and you've got of course guys who are taking care of business in that regard. So you take a look at on the other end, you've got the Auckland Blues, and they are suffering. Why? Because apparently there seems to be a disconnect between the junior structures as well as the professional structures, where there is no clear route for the youngsters because the Auckland Blues of late have been bringing in what they deem to be better players from the other provinces. So they've been getting guys from Waikato, they've been getting guys that are coming in from Canterbury or guys that are coming in from Wellington. Whereas traditionally when Auckland used to dominate the New Zealand rugby scene, it was as a result of development and them giving chances to their own.
Is it not that I think we are now so hungry for success and need success now? The microwave generation, inverted commas, that you have to do that. You want to bring in the best talent, get the results now. But unfortunately, when development is far better than actually buying success.
Yeah, I think so. You've got to do that. I mean, you go back, Barry, to say 10 seasons ago. The Waikato Chiefs were the weakest team in New Zealand.
Yeah.
They were the least attractive team in New Zealand in Super Rugby. They were the team that everyone always gave a pummeling to. But what did? They got their structures right. They put in the hard yards, and eventually the success came. And I think that's where Auckland needs to look to say, okay, Waikato got it right, so can we.
Yeah.
We take a look at the rest of the Super Rugby results of Brumbies 41-31 over the Sunwolves. The Reds going down 52-41 to the Waratahs. The Rebels 20-10 over the Blues, and the Highlanders with a nice 30-14 win over the Hurricanes.
Let's take a look at the combined log. The 6 teams right now that lead the way to the playoffs. The Crusaders in first position by some distance. My goodness, these guys are playing excellent rugby. The Lions are in second position. The Waratahs in third. Of course, the Lions and Waratahs by virtue of the fact that they are leaders in their respective conferences. Otherwise, the Hurricanes have got more points. They are in fourth on 45. And then the Highlanders and the Chiefs, the other teams that make up the playoff places. But the Jaguars, Rebels as well, they look like they got designs on probably gate crashing that party come the resumption of Super Rugby after the inbound tours that are played this coming month.
Zimbabwe's finest radio. ZiFM Stereo.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
We begin in the US, where Steph Curry set a new NBA Finals record, scoring a 9 3-pointers in the Golden State Warriors' 122-103 victory against the Cleveland Cavaliers as they took a 2-0 lead in the series. Curry surpassed Ray Allen, who held the previous record of 8 3-pointers as he top scored with 33 points in Oakland. The defending champions are now 2 games away from their third title in 4 years. Staying in America, Bryson DeChambeau captured his second PGA title with a birdie at the second playoff hole to win the Memorial. The 24-year-old and number 1 ahead overnight had finished 15 under with Kyle Stanley and Byung Hae Un. Englishman Justin Rose needed a win to become the world number 1, but a 2 under 70 left him 3 back in joint 6th. Across to the UK, England sealed a comprehensive innings and 55-run victory over Pakistan inside 3 days as the 2-set series ended all square. Jos Buttler helped set up the win with an entertaining 80-not out that saw the hosts up to 363, an innings lead of 189. The bowlers then came to the party again as they went about dismissing Pakistan cheaply for the second time in the match at Headingley. Finally, in tennis, Novak Djokovic strengthened his claims as a French Open contender by reaching the quarterfinals with a straight-set victory over Spain's Fernando Verdasco. Djokovic seeded 20th, won 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 against 30th seed Verdasco. In today's action, world number 1 Rafael Nadal will take on Diego Schwartzman in the quarterfinals after beating Maximilian Martire 6-3, 6-2, 7-6. In the ladies section, Angelique Kerber beat fellow local favorite Caroline Garcia 6-2, 6-3 to reach the last 8, where she'll face Simona Halep. Meanwhile, 3-time champion Serena Williams withdrew from the French Open ahead of her last 16 match against Maria Sharapova due to an arm injury.
Castle Lager Premier Soccer League report on ZiFM Sport.
It was match day 15 in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League, and there was a full bill of fixtures. Here are your results. Black Rhinos beating Chicken Inn 2-1. FC Platinum too good for Shabani Mine in the Jishavane Derby 4-0. Goals from Raman Kutsanziram, Kokeli Due, Farai Madananga and Ali Sadiki, ensuring the champions are kept hot on the heels of Ngezi Platinum Stars. Herentals 1-0 victors over Necrot. It's been a very good 2 weeks for Herentals. Harare City upended at home by Highlanders, 10-men Highlanders, 2-1. Boso getting all 3 points at Rufaro Stadium. Across in Bulawayo City blowing a 3-goal lead to be held to a 3-3 draw by Yada. in Harare. Caps United surprisingly beaten by Mutare City 2-1. Brian Chinoi and David Mangesi with the goals for Rovers. Prosper Jigumba sent off for handling outside his box for Makepekepe. At Ascot Stadium in Gweru, Chapungu were beaten by ZPC Kariba 3-2. ZPC coach Godfrey Tamirepi buying himself some time after coming under increasing pressure after a horrible start to season 2018. Bulawayo Chiefs with the result of the weekend. 1-0 victors over Ngezi Platinum Stars. Gracious Mulea's 30th minute penalty separating the two sides. Clive Agusto and Kolisani Moyo Skara sent off in a case of mistaken identity, while the real culprit Michael Jaramba stayed on the field. I'm sure we'll be getting interesting comments from the team a bit later on. And then in the Lowveld, Triangle United beat Dynamos 3-0. Colin Dua, former Shabani Mine and Chicken Inn player, with a hat-trick. Ocean Mushure sent off for Dimbare. But we start at Rufaro Stadium, where it was party time for 10-men Highlanders after the Bulawayo Giants handed Harare City their second defeat in as many weeks. Enterprising midfielder Godfrey Makaruse scored for Boso after only 7 minutes. Wilfred Muvirimi responded for City 14 minutes later, but the exciting Nigel Makumbe had the final say when he blasted home from close range in the second half after benefiting from a Tendai Samanja Haula. Highlanders technical manager Madinda Ndlovu said Nigel Makumbe's return from injury was key in Boso's win. Let's hear from Highlanders gaffer.
Yeah, well, look, the credit goes to the boys. I think what they did was extraordinary. I think they worked very, very, very tirelessly. They worked very hard. They were much more hungry to get the 3 points. The time when we got the red card, we thought maybe with the pressure that Harare City was giving to us, we thought now we get as many goals against us. But I'm proud of the boys because what they did was very brave. To score a goal when we are a man down, it's really commendable, which now cements my comments before the game. I actually said the return of Nigel is a very big boost to the team, and you can't get it better than what he did. I think it was sheer brilliance scoring that goal when we were a man short. But I must say that towards the end of the game, Harare City gave everything that they have to try and get salvage a point. But look, yeah, you could see my boys after the game. They're all somewhere in tears, somewhere sitting down, somewhere very tired to even stand up and walk. But look, these are points that we really fought for, and all credit goes to my boys.
Nigel Makumbe back for Boso. Alois, listen, this is a guy who's been missing for the last 5 weeks or so for Highlanders, and it was no surprise that Highlanders lost quite a number of points in that period. He's back, and they seem to have found that sparkle in attack.
He is the live wire. We spoke about it. If one has to go down my Facebook page, you can actually see. I actually say that he is the rookie of the year. Without a doubt, already for me, I've already picked him up as the rookie of the year. He is a live wire. He does work. He has got dribbling skills. He is fast, and he gives teams that dimension. We spoke about Cape United losing Pamusi. He gives Highlanders that, and he gives Highlanders much more than what Pamusi does as well, because he delivers the crosses. He brings his teammates into the game, and they did miss him. And I'm happy that he is back, because remember, Highlanders is my second team.
Highlanders, your second team, Alois Murape. Highlanders are now, of course, registering a victory. They seem to be traveling well to Harare. You go back about 4 or 5 seasons ago, Harare always used to be a very difficult place for Highlanders to come to. You all remember, of course, the famous defeats to Dynamos, even to Harare City. They always used to struggle versus Harare City. But if you take a look at this season, I think they've played 4 games in Harare. They've registered 3 victories and just the 1 draw, surprisingly, versus Yada.
Yes, it's good to see that they're managing to get points away from home, especially in Harare, where it has been difficult for them to get points for the past seasons. And what I think now they need to rectify is their home form. I think this year we have seen them being beaten by, the teams on the bottom side. That never used to happen at Islanders. And with the return of Nigel Makumbe, I think they are going to hit consistency. And we need that because Islanders were one of the teams that we were talking about in the beginning of the season, and they were playing so well. And they had gone on a bad run, but I think now they are back on their feet now, and we are going to expect a good second half of the season.
And of course, such was the significance of the Boso victory. It took them to 29 points, and they're now 9 behind log leaders Ngezi Platinum Stars. On the other hand, the Sunshine Boys Harare City remain 5th with 24 points after 15 rounds of action, and they play ZPC Kariba at Nyamunga next Saturday. That is not going to be easy, Barry. But before we hear from Baza, let's hear from Mark Harrison, the Harare City coach, who fumed because he was disappointed with his side's second straight loss.
Where did we get it wrong? That was the most ridiculous game that we have lost this season. We've given away 2 ridiculous goals at the back. We're 1-1, we're 10 men, we're in control of the game, and we just go and give another goal away. And then in the final third, our decision making is poor. It was a ridiculous game to lose. Not acceptable. We should never have lost that game. No, look, Tumba was struggling in the first half, and he's the first guy to admit it. He wasn't in the game, and he said at half-time he wasn't in the game. So it was an obvious substitution, really, to try and give us a bit more impetus going forward. He didn't really get in the game. He was on the ball. He was giving it away a bit too much. Just one of those days for Tumba. I mean, he's been doing ever so well. He's only a young guy, so it happens, and it was just unfortunate it was today.
2 straight losses there, Barry, for Mark Harrison's men. There's not really is there any need to press the panic button? I mean, especially if you consider the fact that this is a team that should have been playing Division 1 football.
No need to hit the panic button. And I think that the reason why Mark Harrison is so disappointed is that he just sets very high standards for his players and very high standards for his team. And in truth, the same thing that was being said of Nigel Makumbe by the lads about how he allows Bosa to play, the same thing can be said about Tumba for Harare City. If he doesn't play, the team doesn't play.
Okay, that is of course the victory that came out of Rufaro for Highlanders. We want to keep you, or should I say, we want you to keep sending your messages on 0731 168 045. We're going to try and read a few of them a bit later on. This is the Castle Lager World Football Report.
Well, you talked about Ngezi Platinum Stars earlier. Now, they came unstuck this past weekend. Gracious Malea's 30th minute penalty helped Bulawayo Chiefs to become the first club to beat Ngezi Platinum Stars this season after edging the leaders at Luveve yesterday. Chiefs, who had gone for 7 games without a win, defied all the odds against Ngezi side. Now they finished the match with 9 players following red cards to substitutes Clive Augusto and Polisani Skara Moyo. The hosts produced a great act similar to the one that they did when they outfoxed FC Platinum 2-0 to hand them their only defeat of the season on match day 7 at the same venue to beat the high-flying leaders. My goodness, to be honest, if I were a betting man going into this match, I'd have bet against Bulawayo Chiefs getting anything out of this game, least of all 3 points. And my goodness, they got all 3 points. They have a taste for platinum, don't they?
We hardly expected it. You know, that's one game that if you had put your money on, you were not going to be very confident about. But for me, it was a shock. But when the coach is talking, I heard the Bulawayo City talking. He said we planned for them. You know, we had a game plan, and I'm not sure what the game plan was. But if they had, it worked well. You know, but also the Ngezi Platinum side, they're also complaining about bad refereeing there, and they're complaining about a yellow card that was wrongly given to their player and a red card and all that kind of thing. But we are at the stage now where all these things will start to crop up, and we're going to hear a lot more of these things. Now it's all about conspiracy theories. If you get a yellow card here, it's because they know we are playing the next game against so and so, blah blah blah. It's gonna happen, but we just have to move on and see. But Bulawayo Chiefs, they did well done to them. You know, I think for me already, we've got a candidate for okay.
Yes.
Okay, you know what I mean.
Leave it right there. And Bunj brought in or snuck in a component there that's quite critical, because going into the next match, Ngezi Platinum Stars play FC Platinum. and you look at these two players who got red cards. That means Clive Augusto not available for selection, Prolisani Moyo not available for selection. Those are two players who can give Stanza, Twenderai and Diraya a bit of impetus going forward, and that's a real struggle for them. Yes, we can talk about conspiracy theories, but to be honest, on the cold light of day, these are two players that Ngezi Platinum will miss.
Yes, they will certainly miss them, but at the same time, I think Ngezi have got depth in their team. Of course, they would love to have these two players against Platinum. You'd want to have all your players, your best players, yes. But at the same time, I think Ngezi will also fancy their chances when they face Platinum. Because when you look at FC Platinum, Nomen Mapeza is doing a great job. Twenderai Ndirai is also doing a great job. So what we are waiting for is how are they going to fare with all these two players that we are talking about, and also are they going to get a victory? Because this is the game that we need to see to gauge
who might be champions.
Yes.
But you know what I feel? I feel though that Ngezi has lost out on a wonderful opportunity. They had a great opportunity to go into this game versus FC Platinum 3 points ahead, and of course knowing that even if they lost, at the very worst they'll still be level with the FC Platinum. And FC Platinum of course had the should I say, they would have had the prospect, the pressure of going into Baobab Stadium trailing by 3 points, and knowing that if they lost, they would now be 6 points behind. So they've now removed the pressure of FC Platinum. If there's a team that's come under more pressure going into this game, it's going to be Ngezi Platinum Stars, because one, they've just lost, they're coming off the back of a defeat. FC Platinum is coming off of a fantastic victory versus their crosstown rivals Shabani. No one would have talked about 4-0 versus Shabani in Shabani. They're getting guys who are starting to score. Raman Kutsanzira, we saw him against Dynamos at a very good game, so he's coming into form. He scores against Shabani. But look at Ngezi now. Those two players, how about their top player? He's missing. Terence Zugamanja. Is it no surprise that they were actually quite they lacked that bite up front with Terence Zugamanja missing? I think it's no surprise. I think he is a player who's very important to the Ngezi Platinum cause, and I think Twenderai Ndiraya now, and listen, Zimbabweans, you'll have to forgive me, but he must be one man who's praying that Zimbabwe gets knocked out.
Because he might not have Terence as well for the Platinum Derby.
If the Warriors beat Lesotho in the semi-finals, that means Zimbabwe is there for the whole week. That means Terence Zugamanja and Liberty Chakoroma are not there for the Platinum Derby on Saturday. And to be honest, with those two players, and Nomen Mapeza, you know the difference I think between the squads, whilst they have a depth, I think Nomen Mapeza has got players in his squad who are ready-made replacements for those that are away. So if you take a look at Kevin Moyo, who the second best player in the league last season, he's out with the national team. Who stepped into his place? Lawrence Mhlanga is there, one of the best defenders in the league. You know, if you get a Raman Kutsanzira injured, who do you throw in? Gift Mbweti. So they've got like for like ready-made replacements, and I think that's the difference. Whilst yes, Twenderai has got numbers, but I think sometimes he doesn't have like for like replacements. Right now he can't replace.
He has to shuffle around now.
Kamanja,
He has to shuffle them around, and I think it's a disadvantage FC Ngezi, because when you look at it, the two players that are suspended plus Chakoroma and Terence Zugamanja, I think they're depleted.
All of them four are usually starters.
Yeah, it could be a struggle, but that match takes place on Saturday. When we get back, we'll be talking about league standings and so much more.
Alcohol may be hazardous to health if consumed to excess. The operation of machinery or driving after the consumption of alcohol is not advisable. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18 years.
Castle Lager is more than just beer. It's pure liquid gold, crafted from the finest local ingredients to deliver a taste that is somewhat dry, somewhat bitter, but never sweet. It's the taste that stood the test of time. It all comes together with a castle.
Hello, I'm Matinda Ndobu, Highlanders coach. You are listening to ZiFM Sport.
From Rufaro to Barberfield, Mandava to Nyamunga, all the perfect moments in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League come together on ZiFM Sport.
All right, let's take a look at the latest standings in the Castle Lager Premier Soccer League after 15 games played. At the very top, the two platinum teams who go head-to-head this weekend, they are tied on 38 points, both with 12 victories, 2 draws, and just the 1 defeat. They're separated by just the odd goal in their goal difference, plus 21 for Ngezi Platinum Stars and plus 20 for FC Platinum. Highlanders are in third. They are on 29 points. Triangle is fourth. Chicken Inn is fifth. Harare City is sixth. They're looking for Dynamos. They're down in 13th place with 14 points from 15 matches. And then bringing up the rear, bottom side, Mutare City in 18th. Bulawayo City is 17th. Shabani Mine is 16th. And the alarm bells are ringing in Gweru. Chapungu United find themselves occupying the last relegation slot in 15th position.
Let's take a look at your match day 16 fixtures. On Saturday, Nikrud versus Triangle United. That's going to be at Ascot. Chicken Inn takes on Herentials at Luveve. ZPC Kariba versus Harare City at Nyamunga. Captain United will be taking on Bulawayo City at the National Sports Stadium. And probably every sports fan in the country is watching out for Ngezi Platinum Stars versus FC Platinum at Baobab Stadium. Are you tripping out for that one? You can let us know as well on 0731 168 045. On Sunday, Mutare City Rovers take on Dynamos at Vengere. Shabani Mine versus Black Rhinos at Maglas. Highlanders versus Bulawayo Chiefs at Barberfield Stadium. And at the National Sports Stadium, Yada will be taking on Chapungu.
All right.
Your most outstanding player, coach, and team. It's your star of the week.
You know what that means, and Alice Bunjira almost had a premature moment, but now we'll give him the proper one. Bunj, you start. We know who your team of the week is. Come on, start.
Yeah, I'll give the team of the week to Bulawayo City.
Bulawayo Chiefs.
Bulawayo Chiefs. Oh, these two confuse me, man.
Yes, Bulawayo Chiefs.
I'll give it to Bulawayo Chiefs, and I'll give Guthrie their coach, the coach of the week. Player of the week, I think Chimwen by time.
You can't look past Colin Dua. Hat tricks are not easy to get.
I wanted to look at the situation of FC Platinum and actually see who is the match winner. Then I looked at Nigel Makumbe as well. Then then the head. Sometimes you get, okay. You know what? I'll give it to Nigel.
Nigel Makumbe.
Yeah, he comes back, he drives his team forward, and he propels them. Thank you.
Murape, it's on you now.
I'll give it player of the week, Collins Dua. Then team of the week, Bulawayo Chiefs.
Yep.
Coach of the week, I'll give it to Norman Mapesa.
Okay, all right. 4-0. Michael?
I'm going to go with Colin Dua. I think he's my star of the week. Hat trick from a midfield player, no less.
Sure.
And I was a bit surprised when Chicken Inn let him go. He's my star of the week. My team of the week has got to be Bulawayo Chiefs, and of course, and their social media guy. Fantastic.
That's my star of the week.
And then, listen, I think for my coach of the week, I am going to go with the Black Rhinos coach, Marua.
Herbert Marua.
Yeah, Herbert Marua. I think he's my coach of the week, beating Chicken Inn.
Yeah.
That result seems to have just fallen under the radar in all our discussions, but that was an outstanding result.
Yeah, and he's not easy to beat, that one. Anyway, I'm going to go with Bulawayo Chiefs coach and team, and for me, my star of the week has got to be Colin Dua. Done.
Well, quick comments, guys.
Here, right?
We are out of here, but I'm sure we'll talk about.
Congratulations to Zim. I mean, they're in the semi-finals. They're playing Lesotho.
We'll talk about the national team a bit more on tomorrow's show, so don't miss out on that one. 6:05, we'll be back right here on ZiFM.
May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Manandi, out.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station.